A long-haul truck driver brought a woman back from his trip. He said she'll be living with us now, Maria cried. In utter shock, she looked at the stranger, who behaved quite rudely, stomping into the bathroom without ceremony, emerging in the hostess's robe with Maria's favorite towel on her head, and casually remarked on her way, "Don't just stand there like a pole. Firstly, I'm hungry, and secondly, your man will be here any minute." Maria wanted to scream and throw her out, but she remained silent. The apartment belonged to her husband and was the property acquired before their marriage. In general, nothing foreboded trouble, and Maria lived well until today. She didn't work, money was plentiful at home. Her husband earned well. Maria possessed a stubborn and capricious character. Acquaintances joked that her husband, Peter, deliberately became a long-haul driver to avoid seeing his wife for longer periods. But he loved her deeply, everyone thought so, including Maria herself. However, her confidence was now shaken. On the day her husband returned, Maria wondered what he would bring her this time. Reality surpassed all expectations. Her husband brought back an unfamiliar woman, saying she would now be living with them. Her name was Nina. And to prevent Maria from objecting, he met her somewhere along the highway. Maria couldn't understand anything. She herself was 34 years old, young and beautiful, while this woman looked at least 50, unkempt and rude. Could such a woman really attract her handsome husband, even though she was 10 years older than him? There are men who like older women. But they're not like her. "Hey, are you going to stand there forever?" "I'm hungry," Nina shouted from the kitchen. Maria went to cook dumplings. Nina remained silent. Maria placed a plate in front of her and was about to get stuffed cabbage rolls for her husband. "Didn't you understand that you're feeding your man with semi-finished products, and I got fed up with them?" Nina retorted. "Well, yes," Maria replied with hatred in her eyes. Nina demonstratively opened the window and threw the dumplings out. "What are you doing?" Maria exclaimed. "The cat will eat them. And you, dear, make soup or fry potatoes. Got it?" And Nina left to watch TV. When Peter came home, Maria dragged him into the kitchen and started complaining. "Get rid of her. Why did you bring her here? Who is she?" She threw away the dumplings. "She." Maria didn't finish, as Nina appeared in the kitchen. "Peter, why do you tolerate her? A man like you, with money and housing, and she can't even cook for you. A spoiled mama's girl, and a complainer to boot," Nina said disdainfully, looking at Maria. "I live here, and I'm the mistress," Maria retorted. "For now," Nina replied, and together with Maria's husband, they left for the store. Nina cooked herself. Maria had no appetite that day, but the next day she ate wonderful borscht and pasta Navy style. Maria couldn't cook and didn't like it, but she decided to make up for lost time, watching recipes on the internet. It didn't work out at first, but then she got the hang of it and stopped nagging Peter for every little thing. Maria was afraid that nasty Nina would stay while she would leave. She didn't even tell her mom, although she usually called her for any reason. But she did share with her best friend. "Kick her out," her friend Catherine said over the phone. "I can't imagine if my Alexander brought someone like that home." Started giving advice, Catherine continued. "Well, lucky you. You have a shared apartment, plus your Alexander barely earns anything, you're the one carrying the family," Maria retorted. "I have nothing of my own, it's all Peter's. And he's handsome, but now there's her," Maria sobbed. "Well, thanks, friend. I wanted to support her, and she just put me down." "Go back to your Peter and his Nina," Catherine protested. So nothing seemed to have changed. Peter still looked at his wife with adoration. She tried to start a conversation with him about why he brought Nina home and how long she would stay, but her husband refused to discuss it. Nina got a job at the store, and Maria suddenly realized how she could survive the interloper by getting pregnant. She hadn't wanted children before. She had told her husband she didn't want to stop being fit and didn't have much love for children. But now she realized an effective way to handle the situation. Maria's acquaintances were surprised by the changes in her. She started cooking, stopped having tantrums like before, she just turned into the perfect wife. And then, beaming, Maria told Peter she was expecting a baby. He was overjoyed. "It's about time, just make sure you raise them well so they don't kick you out like they did to me," Nina sighed. "What do you mean, kick you out?" Maria asked. "Just like that. I raised my husband's sons as my own, and when my Nikolai was gone, they kicked me out. They said they didn't want to see me anymore. I put my whole soul into them." Tears welled up in Nina's eyes, and for the first time, Maria felt remorse and even started to sympathize with her, saying it could happen later. But she didn't want to, started drinking, didn't want to live. Then your man came. I stepped onto the road, he miraculously stopped. We talked for a long time, he straightened me out and invited me to live with him. A completely unfamiliar person. I immediately started to believe that there are good people. You're lucky, Maria, with your husband, Nina responded. That evening they had dinner together for the first time, and Maria didn't even want to kick Nina out. Nina smiled, thinking she had succeeded in turning Peter's stubborn wife around. The next day, Uncle Andre came to visit from the village and kept casting interested glances at Nina. After staying for a week, he was ready to go home. And Nina too? At our age, we need to hurry up and not refuse offers, he joked. Thanks for hosting, Nina smiled, and Maria even started to miss her. Life somehow changed, and so did she. Maria gave birth to a daughter and asked Nina to be her godmother. Now they're inseparable. Maria spends the whole summer with them in the village, the fresh air is good for the baby. Her husband keeps marveling at how unrecognizable his wife has become, believing that Nina is responsible for this change. That's how fate's whimsical knot brought together people who now need each other very much.